Hey guys, welcome to the IFP channel. It's been a while. We all have personal lives and stuff, so we have stuff to look after. Like, we're not free all the time. So, it's been a while, and there have been a lot of developments in the world of football. Like, you can see Spurs are suffering. You can see some teams they are doing really well. Barca are back in track. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. The football quality has been improved. It has been very good since the past few days. So we are back after a long time, and today we have like two interesting topics to talk about. We recently had a game against Oman, India versus Oman, and that game brings forward a few points which we can talk about. So let's just start with it. So Ashwin, India versus Oman, did you enjoy the game?
I wouldn't say particularly in saying that I enjoyed the game because first half we were really suffering. We were pegged back on our own half, but we showed that grit and determination to go for it in the second half. And I would say in the sense that we getting a 1-1 draw was a very positive result.
I mean, yes, obviously, because Oman are a higher ranked team and they did play well, but luckily the damages weren't huge for Team India. Now, Rushil, I believe you also saw the game, and what do you make of the game? How did it appeal to
Mm.
you the way India played?
In the first half, no, it did not. I mean, the first half, India was like poor man's Mourinho, and they were trying way too hard to park the bus. But at the same time, when they got the opportunity, they always, what can I say, lacked the play style to counter. No, the fullbacks weren't opening, and all these other stuff were like really pissing me off. Like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? Especially in
Yeah,
yes, yes. And
yeah,
in
yeah, definitely, definitely.
the second half was better, especially after that number 18 who came in, and person was like really composed in the midfield. He was always checking his shoulders, which is like the one of the best things you can do. And Ishan Pandita also came in, but he did not have that much of an impact. But one play that really stuck to me was that the goal from India. The press was by the Indian football team was like really, really beautiful and perfectly placed. They did it so well that they did go because of it we got a goal. And that header by Manveer Singh was beautiful. What can I say? It was placed exactly at the place that where it will cause a goal.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the goal was beautiful, but we also have to remember that we got kind of lucky because the penalty they first took was like really awful, thankfully. And
Yes.
because of that fortunate incident, we managed to still remain in the game. Now, Ashwin, like Rushil brought forward the point of Apuia, who is the player who was brought on. Did that player impress you as well?
Yeah, he did. He also won the ISL's most emerging player of the season. So he was. I see a very bright future in him because I have seen him throughout the whole ISL season. He's a proper number six. He takes the ball. He has a very good positioning. Like Rushil said, always checks the game of every other player. So
Shoulders.
that's a trait that every good midfielder has. And certainly with him coming in the second half, we saw a lot of composed passing, and that's where we even got the goal because we are further up in the pitch because of him. So that press happened, and that goal eventually happened. So he is certainly a bright prospect for the future.
Can
Yeah,
I say one
definitely.
thing?
Yeah, sure.
I would say the formation in the second half was like the best formation for India if they are not playing the first team. There were not a lot of regulars in this team, but the second half formation was the best, and India was actually very composed in that formation. And the
All
second thing I
right.
also like was like Manveer is not a really good striker. I think, as Ashwin pointed out while we were watching the match, Manveer is a very good winger. He has the pace, he has the dribbling skills to do that. He did that in a lot of the one versus one that caused. And his small touch technique is also really good for tight spaces. For a personal that is that tall, he's really good in close control dribbling. So I think playing him as a striker is not a good thing when we have Ishan Pandit as well. So Ishan Pandit should start as a striker and Manveer on the wing would be a better choice for the team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, the result was quite positive in my opinion, and this is something to build upon. There's only one way you can go forward with this. Now, Manav, did you enjoy the game?
Yes, definitely, I enjoyed the game, but something need to be worked upon by Indian team. The team is young. His average age was nearly 24, so I think if they are nurtured properly, they can compete in the future. They will be good enough.
Yeah, certainly, because this Indian team actually showed a bit of promise, especially in the second half. We did really well in the second half. I mean, the first half was really bland and it was very boring, sitting back, not getting the ball. When you get the ball, you're misplacing the passes and stuff. Yeah, so I mean, the second half was better, and this is certainly something that the boys should be proud about.
So,
Now,
what do you think, Anishik? Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think if we have our main players in this lineup, then what could be the future we expect of this team?
Yeah, so Ashwin, do you want to answer that?
Yes, yes. Focusing on this particular game, I would say the reason players were not comfortable in the first half was because they were told to, not give spaces away and just play with that two banks of four. And I believe this team definitely has that technical ability to play possession football. And to build upon that would be a good idea because this ISL season, we saw many emerging players right through. So I know that this team has the potential to play possession football as per the coach, that is Igor Stimac. He is a guy who likes to play possession football. So I think he should build upon that. And I definitely see a future with
Okay.
this team.
Definitely, definitely. The future looks bright for the Indian national team because definitely there's young blood, a lot of talent, and definitely a lot of energy and stamina as well. So yeah, there's always a positive that you can see from the match. Now, before we move any further, Ashwin, do you think that this game is actually step forward? Because even though it was a draw, some people I mean do they claim that this was a good result.
Yes, as I said, there's a young batch of players, and they have to build upon these games like these because Oman is a higher ranked team. We have to notice that too. Yes, they missed 3 to 4 big chances, but we also were clinical with our one chance. That is a very important thing to note because we not get many chances. That one chance we put it in and we got the goal. So results like these are surely a stepping stone for this young team because surely we have a good batch of players to be right up there with the competition.
Definitely. Now these players have also got the experience now to to see off these kind of matches, and they've got I mean a few minutes in hand would be definitely helpful for these players. So yeah, that was really good. Now, let's move to our next point of discussion, which is basically the UCL draw and our predictions to what we think might happen in the UCL this season. Now, before we talk further, I would like to bring forward the UCL draw because there are some interesting matches in this. If we see, our first match will definitely be the City versus Dortmund match, and City again showing what all money can do. Got the easiest of them. But yeah, this is just a joke. I mean, it's just light-hearted humor. But yeah, certainly City versus Dortmund will be an interesting match because Dortmund have Haaland and all these young players who are emerging and very good in their technicalities. And City, we all know City. City is a very good team. They can certainly win. I mean, they are one of the contenders as well. So, Rushil, what do you think about the first match that we're talking about? City versus Dortmund.
I would say if you're placing bet on this game, don't, because usually City is this qualifiers, right? For
Yeah.
quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So usually City in quarterfinal always perform really bad. But at the same time, we have Dortmund who are absolute bottlers. So this is so if we use the past behavior to analyze this match is like extremely unpredictable when you say. Of course, Dortmund has Haaland, Sancho, and all other players, but at the same time, their defense is absolute trash. We saw that in Bayern versus Dortmund. They scored 2 goals. Haaland was like this, but again, Robert Lewandowski showed him why he is the best striker in the world, and the defense was atrocious. But at the same time, we have Manchester City in quarterfinals. The Raheem Sterling miss and all those stuff that happened in the past, which might have hurt our City fan Manav a lot. So I'm not really,
Definitely.
so I'm
That
not
was
really
really hurtful
expecting.
when he missed it.
So I'm not really expecting going to predict something like that. But if I have to, I am going to say City will win, because with Dortmund's defense, I don't think they are going to stay against Sergio Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and Riyad Mahrez and all of those players.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Riyad Mahrez hitting that, beautiful, sweet form in which he is in currently. And the thing is, I mean, on the two sides, you have teams who are very good on their day and also giant bottlers in, off day. So you might just as well call it the plastic bottle derby. So yeah, definitely. I mean, this is going to be an interesting match. Now, Manav, our resident City fan, what do you make of the game? Did you like actually jump out of joy with the draw that you received?
No, last time I was also very happy when we defeated Real, and our next match was against Olympic Lyon. Then Sterling missed an open goal, and all the hopes were gone. At that time, City was the favorite to win the league. But I guess if this, I hope I hope that they don't mess up this time, because
Yeah, I mean the
last
thing
time.
is, yeah, definitely. I mean the thing is, like, if City go like beyond this, and if they reach the finals, there is a very solid chance that they could win it, because we know City are a very talented team, and on their day they can tear any team into shreds, literally, be it the top teams in the world. So yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you have such a brilliant squad and you have such a brilliant manager, you can win it. You can easily win it. It's just about taking the game in hand and trying to win it.
Yes,
Not.
sometimes Pep overthinks in these type of situations. He tries to do different types of formation. This certainly messes up the whole game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think Ashwin can tell us more about what Pep thinks, because he's a Barca fan. So Ashwin, what do you make of this game?
For me, the tie is very one-dimensional. I would go definitely with the City win because Dortmund's defense is absolutely in shambles. There's no hiding from that. But we saw that game against Monaco, right? The first season of Pep, where Kylian Mbappe
Yeah.
broke through the scene, right? This could be that game for Holland because there's a lot of talk about him going to big European clubs. This could be that stage for Holland to step up and show that he is worthy of that price tag. Apart from that, there's anything different from the draw. City easy win because this time the defense has the different element. That's Ruben Diaz. Last season, we saw how they clearly fucked up against Lyon. But I don't think that would happen in this season because Ruben Diaz would tie up that defense and they would easily get past.
I mean,
And
definitely,
to add to
because
that,
yeah,
to add to that, I don't think Pep will repeat the same mistake twice. Pep is like not the type of manager to repeat that same mistake twice. So I think City is clear in this, but I'm still saying it is unpredictable for some sort.
I mean,
In the
bro, you're
quarter
telling
fi-
it Pep won't repeat it twice, but then he has repeated it thrice, to be honest, already. Once against
But
Monaco, then against
but I'd like
Spurs,
to
then against
I'd like to
Olympic
step in
Lyon.
here because I think he is getting more of a bashing for the defeat against Lyon because that was a one-off tie. Okay, Champions League one-off ties can't say anything. I mean, the slightest of mistakes can cost you. But this is a two-leg tie. We have to remember that. And City clear winners. Okay, for me, clear winners.
Definitely,
I'm
if you
Let's. Yes, I think we should put our trust in Pep. He has done whatever he could for City. He has won two Premier League this season. He'll definitely get it, and all the other trophies like FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So we should put our trust in Pep, I guess.
you put the trust, bro. I'm like, why should I put the trust on Pep? Anyways, but whatever, let's just wish all the best to City. I mean, they are a solid team and they can certainly, win the thing. Now, let's push our attention to the next match, which is Porto versus Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea under Tuchel have been like, it hurts to say, but they have been like really brilliant. I mean, if you see the matches, if you observe them, the attacking play hasn't been really great. I mean, they are not like brilliant attackers or something, but he seems to have stabilized the team. The midfield is
Exactly.
doing his job, the defense is doing the job, the strike is also scoring the goals and doing the job. So it's all about doing the job and being professional, and that's certainly the type of discipline that Tuchel has brought into the team. Now, Ashwin, what do you make of this game, the Porto versus Chelsea game?
I'm going to tell you, I've been very impressed with Thomas Tuchel at Chelsea because he has shown that experience, bring that experience from the big teams that he has managed. He's brought that stability to Chelsea. It's a similar system that Barca has been playing for now, 3-5-2. And that three in the back adds the very good stability that Chelsea really lacked. So I think, yeah, it would be another, Thomas Tuchel tactical masterclass, and he would pull it off.
I mean, yeah, with all due respect to Porto, Porto have been really brilliant this season. And I mean, I would love to, think that it will be a really, tough match between the two. But there are a lot of fans who are, inclined more towards Chelsea win because the rich vein of form that Chelsea has been in has been like tremendous. So yeah, I mean, it will be an interesting match. Manav, what do you make of the match?
It's easily a Tuchel's masterclass, I guess, because Chelsea is now performing well. Their forwards are doing pretty good job. Last match, when we saw Werner and Ziyech's performance, it was absolutely great. And then Oliver Giroud, if he is the striker, he can make a difference.
Definitely, definitely. Now, Rushil, do you want to say something about it?
I really don't know Porto versus Chelsea, but I really want Chelsea to lose because
Yeah.
I want to see angry rant man rant about Chelsea losing.
Oh my God, dude, that dude has been. I mean,
We
see,
don't
it's
know
the same.
actually, because this
Yeah,
Champions League has every season there's one dark horse who somehow makes it through the semifinals. Don't know, maybe this season
Exactly
it's
that.
Porto.
Exactly. I was going to say
yeah,
that.
exactly. Like last season's Leipzig could be this season's Porto. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean,
Olympic
it could be
Lyon.
definitely, definitely. I mean, it'll be a very interesting like event if that happens because Porto have been no less, to be honest. They have been tremendous. The league
Yes,
form,
yes.
like I have nothing to comment about the league form because it's always the three teams over there. But yeah, Porto has been really good under the manager. They have been really nice, and their recent wins, I mean, they have been really tremendous. And yeah, there is always a element of surprise in the UCL games. You never know what to expect from the games. Now,
About
shift.
uh, can I say something?
Yeah, sure, sure.
About Porto, Pepe has been really in good form this season, and he has emerged as a good leader. If you look at the past forms of Porto, they defeated Juventus with Ronaldo, who had Ronaldo. So I really don't think Chelsea has a good chance against Porto with Pepe and all these other players really in form. Because if you look at Chelsea, don't really have that amazing attacking flair, even though they have the big names. Because if they did, they wouldn't have be in the position they are in currently in the Premier League. So I am thinking that Porto just might slightly get the win. So I'm going with Porto on this. I really want Porto to win because I don't like Chelsea. I don't know why I just don't like that team.
Definitely, man. It's about your preference. Definitely. Even I don't like Chelsea. Fuck Chelsea. Now, but all jokes aside, yes, what we can hope as neutral fans is this will be a very interesting game to watch. Now, let's shift our attention to the next game, the next big game, which is probably the marquee game of the UCL the season. It is Bayern versus Paris, and it will be an interesting match. I mean, last season's finalists this season they are in the quarterfinals, and PSG could be up for revenge. They could certainly be because there is no lack of talent in these two teams. I mean, you can't just compare the two teams on paper and say that this team is better than the other because definitely they have stuff that they can use against each other. They have got the weapons, they've got the big guns. But now, Ashwin, what do you make of this game, this the gigantic game that we have in our hands?
talking about this tie, people would obviously bring up that final, last season final, and that was a one-off game, yes, but this, I believe, would be a very high-scoring match. Both the legs, because both the teams would really go for it. PSG are not the one who would set back, and Bayern, we have seen the number of goals they let in is outscore it, and that's going to be the trend of the tie. And I would put my money on Bayern.
Bayern. All right.
Yeah,
Now, Rushil, what about you?
I'm going to go about the past form of PSG. We saw in Barca versus PSG that when Barca pressed, PSG actually were very uncomposed in the defense. And we already know
Yeah.
how good Bayern players. We have seen that in the 8-2 thrashing of Barcelona. That game still gives me PTSDs.
I mean, yeah, bro, definitely. Because if you see the game, the Barcelona versus PSG game, Barca were really brilliant that game, and it didn't seem like PSG were running out as clear winners because the way Barca pressed, they had intent in the game, and PSG couldn't do anything in that match. To be honest, I mean, they got the penalty. I guess they scored a penalty, right, Ashwin?
Yeah.
Yes, Mbappe scored a penalty.
Yeah, so Mbappe scored a penalty, but I don't think there was anything of great, something that would compel me that this PSG side is brilliant and they can go even further because that game was abysmal to be honest from PSG standards. But
Even
keeping that in
even
mind,
even Marco Verratti after the game, he said that we weren't playing in our own half because we had set up like that. We were pegged in our own half because of Barca's press. So we could see something similar like that against Bayern too, because Bayern would press the hell out of PSG, that's for sure. And
Yes.
PSG would have to rely on Mbappe's pace and Neymar's release of the ball.
The thing with
yeah,
PSG is that their defense is really bad. Kimpembe is really inconsistent. That is the main issue with PSG's defense. He can be brilliant sometimes, but he can be absolutely atrocious the next time. So that is the issue. If you have seen the Manchester United versus PSG match, one handball and Manchester United made the comeback in the UCL. And therefore, I'm going with a Bayern win because Bayern just have fun. They have experience. Second, their attack is like out of this world. And third, Hansi Flick is like really attacking type of manager. He will press, no doubt about it. We can't. It is not like we might see. It is we will see this. Hansi Flick might have seen Barca versus PSG, and they might have thought, "I'm seeing the PSG's weakness." PSG has only one good press-resistant midfielder, that is Marco Verratti, and apart from that, PSG don't have anything in them. Mauro Icardi doesn't play really well, that good. They are only going to rely on Mbappe, and Neymar sometimes shows, but sometimes in these big game he also disappears.
But if Neymar has performed on many occasions in big games, especially for Barca, so if he steps up and perform, he can make a difference in that game, I guess.
I mean,
The thing
definitely, bro,
is,
because there'll be definitely eyes on Lewandowski, Neymar, and Mbappe because I mean I think these three players specifically can set the tie basically. They can decide that which direction the teams go in. And before I forget it, I was also talking about the point where there's something that Bayern has more than PSG, and it is discipline. The clear German discipline to play in a very organized manner. Like no matter if they concede the goal, let us assume Bayern concedes a goal, they always know to get back into the game because they have that discipline. And as Rushil pointed out, they have that extra experience because they have been in that place before, and that could really haunt PSG. But that being said, I mean PSG also have the experience because they have been in the final before, and they smell blood. Literally they smell blood because they want to take revenge. They literally want to take the revenge of last season. So let's just hope that this game turns out to be a brilliant spectacle for us neutrals. Now let's just move to the next game. We'll talk about the Real Madrid versus Liverpool game. Rushil, what do you make of this game now?
I haven't watched Liverpool or Real Madrid this season, so I really don't know. I will go with. I might just go with Liverpool because they already have lost the Champions, the Premier League, so their whole focus might be on winning the Champions League again. And with Real Madrid, they have both La Liga and as well as Champions League in hand. So I won't say they will, they might risk one losing one or another, but still, Liverpool will be the more hungry ones, and it will be a very big mistake to assume that Liverpool is out of the game at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Because what we have observed from Liverpool is that, like us Premier League fans have observed this, like whenever they are the most in out of everyone, like they are out of suddenly out of a few games, they are losing games continuously in a streak. They come out better. They certainly seem to perform better in the next games, and they try to turn the game around. And
About
this
the
Liverpool
injury,
side, yeah.
uh, about the injury, the issue with Liverpool is that their greatest strength becomes their greatest weakness. The high pressing gegenpress of Jurgen Klopp causes so much fatigue on the players that it will eventually lead to injuries. that is that is their game, because it is so high pressing, so high energetic that it causes fatigue, and all this fatigue accumulate in which results into injuries. So this causes Liverpool to lose their greatest strength. That is my point saying.
I mean, you can counter this by telling that they have been brilliant over the past 2 years, but you know what? You never know, to be honest. You never know with UCL football. You never know what's gonna happen. Liverpool, they might be losing a few games in a streak, and suddenly they might come out victorious in this game. You never know. It might be Real Madrid's game as well, because they are also kind of, uh, in and out of form. So, Ashwin, what do you think about Real Madrid this season? Do you think that they have got the guns to, beat Liverpool?
Considering this season, Real Madrid has been, very different. They have been a very different form because last time, when they were in the group stage, there were talks of them dropping to Europa League. Europa League's official page themselves made a meme about it. So this season, Zidane has just grinded out the results, so we don't know how this game would go. This is really one of the games where you would say it's all about the UCL. It's all about who arrives on the game at that day. And Liverpool could have a good edge with their mentality and attitude, but this season they have certainly missed Van Dijk. He has been a very huge miss, and because of him, the tactical aspect of Liverpool's game is that they don't push further up the pitch. They don't have that midfield to press the ball back and quickly distribute to the forward line. That has hurted them. So Real could profit in the sense that their distribution is very fine. The likes of Modric and Kroos, who have been good form again this season, they release the ball quicker. Benzema releases the ball quicker to the wide players, where Mondi and the right back, whoever plays, they attack it, and Liverpool's defense can be vulnerable to it. So I think Real could go through, and they have a very strong chance of at least getting to the final this season.
Because yeah, as I said before, there's always an element of surprise with the UCL. You never know what happens. Now, Manav, before we end, let's get your opinion about the match.
Well, I guess the main weakness with Real is the vulnerability to counter attacks. Like they create more chances in playing a fairly attacking game, but sometimes players like Modric, due to age, are not able to track back when counters are used. So definitely this is the reason why the Real are conceding more penalties in the game. So that's why they have to do something about the vulnerability to counters. Then I think they can easily win this game because they have the kind of attack which can make a difference.
Exactly, and they've got a team full of winners. I mean, they have done it before. Yeah, they had Cristiano, but yeah, the other players are no less. They are also contributed to the game. Now, on that note, let's just end the show, because we have already discussed the 4 Champions League fixtures that we are going to see in the future. And what I can guarantee is that it'll be a brilliant spectacle to us neutrals and even the supporters who are, it'll be a nail-biting match for them, because I mean the matches have been the matches that have been drawn have been really good. I mean, let's just hope that it'll be a good spectacle for us neutral fans. Anyways, on that note, let's just end this show. Since we have the boring international break, there's no point talking about it. We'll see you next time with some more news about it. See ya. Bye.